Hello students, a very good morning. So students, as we have ended our chapter number 13, that was kinetic theory of gases. Now today let's start to discuss the new chapter, that is oscillation now. So let's see what is now first oscillation and what we are going to study in this chapter. So this chapter is exactly oscillation and wave. So first we will study the oscillation, after that we will start the wave topic here. So first in oscillation, before that one, as two kinds of motion of the system of particles you have seen, like if any body is at rest, then that will be continually at rest until we are applying any external force. So there we have seen the concept of rectilinear or translational motion, means body starts to move along a particular line, then that time that is called translatory motion or simple rectilinear motion we are calling it. Now after that we have seen if any body starts to rotate about some of the axes, then rotatory motions that is started. Now if the third one type of motion is possible, that is called vibratory motion or oscillatory motion. So first, what is the vibratory motion and oscillatory motion, why it is generating? Let's see that one before starting anything. So oscillations are what for that one, what we are doing, we are just fixing one end and another end of the system we can just hang. Means here what you have to do for the oscillation, for oscillation whatever the system you are using for motion, that should be fixed at one end, and after that the other end that should be free to vibrate here. So this is also a kind of rotatory motion, but as in rotatory motion the particle is free to rotate about whole of the axis, but here it is not free to rotate because one end of this system is fixed. So suppose for example here a thread, with that one a bob is attached, we have just fixed at one end, we have clamped it, another end is free. Now until we will not apply any external force, this will not move there. So if it will not move, it will not rotate, then it will continually be at the rest, and due to its inertia property, and also it will have elastic behavior, because of that one it will try to always maintain its position. Now these two properties will play very important role in oscillation and while generating wave here. So first in oscillation, as body is at rest, bob is at rest, that have two property, that is inertia and elasticity. Now what we have to do, we will apply an external force in this direction. So if external force we will apply in this direction, means we will displace the bob from its equilibrium position, this position where it is in stationary state, it is that is called by a lot of names, that is steady state, equilibrium state, that is also called mean position. So these all are the name of this one. Whenever we will displace it from its mean position, then due to displacement of the system, its elastic property will starts to oppose it, because of elastic behavior, means it don't want to change its configuration of the system. So due to that property of elasticity, it will impose a restoring force that will try to regain its original position. So a restoring force will start to act in opposite direction, and as that restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement that we have caused. So suppose x displacement is caused here, and on the application of this force, so the restoring force that will be directly proportional to x, and as restoring force in within elastic limit, that will be equal to deforming force. So this will also equal to F, and F can be written as sum of F is equal to Kx, where K is proportionality constant, and this is known as spring factor. Now this spring factor predicts that how much restoring force will act on the particle. If K will have greater value, then very fast equilibrium condition the system will try to attain. Now as this restoring force has opposite direction, then it will have negative value there. After this one, the second one thing, due to this restoring force, the system will try to regain its mean position, but experimentally it has seen position initially, the bob was at rest, and that time due to its inertia property, it was in the state of rest. But whenever we have applied this displacing force, this deforming force in the direction of displacement, then due to that one the bob comes into the state of motion. Now as it has the state of motion, whenever this restoring force will work here, due to that restoring force it will accelerate also. Again it will try to maintain its state of motion due to its inertial behavior. So as when this will come here, so due to state of motion condition, it will go beyond this limit because it has to maintain its state of motion. And when it will go here, again the elastic behavior comes into the play. It will just impose a restoring force. So due to restoring force, again it will come back, but due to state of motion, its inertial behavior opposite, it will go again beyond this one. So this kind of vibratory situation starts to occur due to both properties combinedly they are acting, and that is elasticity and inertia. Due to that one, the system will starts to rotate about its mean position, or also we are calling it that it starts to vibrate about its mean position, and that is now called as vibratory motions or oscillatory motion. So the reason and the description about the vibratory and oscillatory motion is now clear. So this is our new type of motion, third type of motion that we have, that is vibration or oscillation, or vibratory or oscillatory motion. Now after this one, let's see what we will study in this chapter. So in this chapter, first as we will study about the oscillation, how many types of oscillations are possible or motions are possible, how can we show them with the help of some functions, also which kind of function we will study here, how many types of oscillations are there, these all things we will study, and also some of the applications based on that one, we will see that one. So let's start now our chapter with the description as about the oscillation I have given you already. So the next topic we have, that is periodic motion. So let's see what is now the periodic motion. So after the discussion on oscillation, periodic motion is what? Periodic motion of a body that motion which is repeatedly identically or repeated identically after a fixed interval of time or after a fixed interval of space, which the motion is repeated is called periodic motion. Means if any particle will repeat its own path after certain interval of time or space, then that is known as periodic motion. For example, if you will see if, the rotation of earth around the sun. So if earth is rotating around the sun, then if earth will rotation will start from here, then after 2 pi rotation, angular value if you will see after 2 pi rotation, or the distance you will see after the 2 pi r distance, it will always come to its again initial condition. So the 2 pi factor, that is now after this one continually it will started to again come to its initial condition, again it will go, again it will come. So this kind of motion you can see it is continuously repeating its motion, and that is now known as periodic motion. So always periodic motions, they will repeat their own path after certain interval of time or after certain interval of space in nature. Now next one after this, as we have discussed oscillatory motions, so let's see whether the oscillatory motions are periodic in nature or not. So if you will see again the example that I have told you, that is if we have thread and bob situation, and this system will start to rotate about this mean position. So you can see it will go here, again it will come back, then again it will go, and you can see whenever it will just complete one oscillation here, then again it will come to its initial condition. Now again it will go and go here, again it will come here. So you can see continually it will come to its initial position after certain interval of time, and in one oscillation the time taken, that is known as time period, So after completion of one time period, it will again starts to follow its original path, and that's why its motion is also periodic. Also in terms of length you can call, so the length covered in one oscillation is known as its path, wavelength, and after one wave completion of one wavelength, again it is repeating its path, that is also periodic motion. So it means all vibratory or oscillatory motions that are periodic in nature. But here it is not necessary that all oscillatory or vibratory motions that will be periodic in nature. So reason here as here I think all vibratory or oscillatory motions, they will always be periodic, but all periodic motions are not vibratory. Just like just now I have given you example of sun and earth, means earth is revolving around the sun, so that is rotatory motion, that is not vibratory motion. So it means that here that periodic motion is not oscillatory motion. So it is not necessary all periodic should be oscillatory, but it is mandatory that all oscillatory motions will be periodic motion. Now after this one, the next one here, the concept of harmonic oscillation. So what is now the harmonic oscillation? This one factor that we have to study here. So we can write down the oscillations with the help of some mathematical functions. So that mathematical functions that will be periodic in nature, like trigonometrical functions, they are periodic in nature. Except that one, a lot of other functions are there. But here in your syllabus you have to study about only the trigonometrical functions, and that are known as now periodic harmonic functions. So harmonic functions, if we will represent oscillation in terms of sine or cosine, then that time the motion, oscillatory motion, is known as harmonic motion. So these are a particular type of motion only that is represented by sine or cosine function, not by any other kind of trigonometrical function, as well as not by any other kind of the functions. So here we are limiting our oscillations topic now by the introduction of harmonic oscillation, and only that one we will study here. So exactly the oscillation we have to study, that is harmonic oscillation. Later we will also study the wave, that will also be the harmonic wave. So only these kind of oscillation and wave we will study here. So I think the limitation is now clear, where we are going to limit our study now on your level. So here as harmonic oscillation, just now I told you, is the oscillation which can be expressed in terms of single harmonic functions like sine or cosine function. So in such kind of oscillation, now when a body is displaced a little from its equilibrium position, that is mean position, and then left to itself, it begin to oscillate to and fro about its mean position. So under a restoring force which is always directed towards the mean position and whose magnitude at any instant is proportional to the displacement of the body, that I have told you already. So here mathematical expression if you have to use for the harmonic oscillation, that is written as y is equal to a sine omega t. Means any of the function that can be expressed in with the help of sine function, that is in this term, and this kind of oscillation that is generated means here you can see if this is the mean position, then that time the body is displaced in this side, but again due to restoring force it will try to regain its position, but whenever it will come here, then due to its inertial behavior, due to the maintenance of a state of motion, it will go beyond there, and again it will come, again restoring force will work. So you can see again it will starts to repeat its path from there. So this is now the one complete rotation, and this is now you can see the graph of sine function. So we can represent the displacement of the particle at any instant t with the help of this sine function, with the or also we can written as y is equal to a sine omega t. Now on this graph, this is the graph between that is time and displacement. So with the help of this graph, later a lot of concepts we will also define here. So first this one is clear. Now again you can use also the cos here. So a cos omega t you can write, but for the cos of that the graph will start from here. So because the cos 0 is equal to 1, so that time the graph will start from here, but still the graph is, behavior of the graph is same, means now the oscillation will start from here. If you will displace, it will displace from here to here. Again due to restoring force it will try to regain its position, so it will try to come to its original path, but again at this mean position its state of motion will oppose and again it will go to here, and due to restoring force it will go here. So you can see this again a whole of the system from here to here, this point to this point, this is completing one complete oscillation just like this one. So this is the graph of cosine function, this is the graph of sine function, where omega is what? Omega is, you know, that is angular frequency, because with the help, whenever we are fixing one end, then with fixing of one end, suppose this is now the one end that is fixed using bob, and bob is oscillating, then that time with the fixed end you can see it is always making some of the angle here. So it is also doing angular motion. So angular motion, if it is doing, it will have angular frequency, and that is denoted by omega. Also you can write in the place of omega, that is a sine 2 pi nu into t, where nu is called, that is natural frequency through which the system is oscillating. So here with the introduction of this nu, I will tell you the definition of frequency. So definition of frequency is what? The number of oscillations that the system is made, or the bob or the oscillatory system will do in 1 second, that is known as here frequency of oscillation. In simple, in 1 second the number of oscillation performed by the system is known as its frequency. So that is new. Now here also we can write this equation in the terms of a sine 2 pi by t into t, where t is capital T is what? That is called the time period. So time period is now defined as the time taken to complete one complete rotation is known, one complete vibration or oscillation is known as its time period. Just like you can see the one complete vibration is made from up to here. So the time taken for this by the system from here to here, that is now known as its time period. So as you will see that frequency is what? That is number of complete oscillation in 1 second, and this is now the time taken to complete one oscillation. So we can see the frequency and time periods are reciprocal to each other. So that's why nu is equal to 1 by t you can write, and you can again just write down this equation in this form. Now in this equation another factor you are seeing, that is A. So what is this A? This is now called amplitude of the oscillation. So what is now amplitude? Amplitude is the maximum possible displacement in the system. So as whenever it will starts to oscillate, then here you can see when you will displace the system, so due to elastic property it will start to oppose, then it within elastic limit if we have to work the maximum displacement due to application of the force it will have, again as the system will start to impose the restoring force, then due to that one, when the deforming force and restoring force will be balanced by each other, then after that this bob will not displace further. So a maximum displacement point we will get. So the distance between these two or the maximum displacement, that is known as now amplitude here. So here in this case you can see this point that is showing the maximum possible displacement, and this is now known as amplitude of the here this oscillatory motion. So amplitude, frequency, oscillation, these three I think points are now clear to you. Now the fourth point along with this one I will tell you, that is called wavelength. So what is now the wavelength of this oscillatory motion? So wavelength, that is the distance between two consecutive the higher oscillatory points. So later wavelength we can define also in another term, but in terms of here the distance traveled in one complete oscillatory system. Now, after the discussion on all these things, let's see the rest of further more topics in the chapter oscillation here. Now, the next topic of this chapter, that is the important terms, and that I have told you some more terms like frequency, wavelength, oscillate. Here it's time period. All I have told you. Next one after this, the very important topic, that is here periodic function, and along with that one, before that I will tell you non-harmonic oscillation. What is this one? So non-harmonic oscillation is what? As the oscillation that cannot be represented by sine or cosine function, that is now known as non-harmonic. Also sometimes you can see the sum of sine or cosine, that is also not have the nature of oscillatory system, that is also non-harmonic. And one word if you have to define, the non-harmonic oscillation is that oscillation which cannot be expressed in terms of single harmonic function, means we cannot use only sine or only cosine for these, or either we will use their combination of sine or cosine or some other functions. So like y is equal to a sine omega t plus b cos omega t, that kind of functions are non-harmonic function. Now periodic function, what is that one? So periodic functions are those functions which are used to represent the periodic motion. So let's see how can we express them. So a function ft, this is said to be periodic if the condition we have this ft is equal to ft plus capital T, means after t times it will start to repeat its motion, and that's why ft will should be equal to ft plus t. Again means in the time t, whatever the displacement it has done, also in time t plus t it has to do the same oscillation, so that it will repeat continually its path. Again after this it should be also equal to t plus 2t, also t plus 3t, and so on. So since you can see the sine or cosine functions that are examples of periodic functions also. So a particle performing a periodic motion must return to its initial position after one period of motion, means after completion of one time period it needs to come to again its initial position. So if capital T is now time period of the periodic motion, then again for periodic motion we can use sine or cosine function as this y is equal to, we can write a sine omega t, and that is also written as y is equal to a sine here omega t plus t. In the same manner here we can write the y should be equal to for this one also for this one, so that it will be periodic in nature. Now we know that the value of sine or cosine here, that repeats after the period of 2 pi. So as sine or cosine functions, that will you will start to find out their values, then 0 to 2 pi they will change their value, but again it will, when it will come to the 2 pi, it will start to repeat its values, repeats its motion, then it means they are periodic with the 2 pi function. So we can now write down omega t plus capital T, this should be equal to omega t plus 2 pi. So in the place of this omega t we can write here 2 pi. So from here you can write this omega t is equal to 2 pi. So as after 2 pi it is completely just repeating its path again and again, and that's why here we can write this value. Now from here omega, that can you can write by 2 pi by t or 2 pi nu. So this also I have already told you this factor, but you can just use mathematical concepts to derive this one. So next one, after this one, let's see the next concept of the oscillation topic, that is the concept of phase as well as the types of oscillation, that all in next chapter, next class. So here students, I think today the oscillation and introduction about that, how can we express the oscillation using harmonic functions, that is now clear. What is the periodic motion, this is all clear. So let's end our class here with this discussion. Rest of the things let's discuss in next class. So thank you students for today.